In this video, we're going to take a look at how to download, install, and then we'll poke around and see what's under the hood with Atlas. So let's go and begin by trying to download Atlas. We'll simply go to atlas.asp.net. We'll go to the download icon that you can't miss at the very top. And I'm going to download the July CTP. At the time of this recording, that was the latest that was available. There might be newer CTPs available with slightly new functionality or perhaps some bug fixes. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Go to the download button. We'll save it onto our desktop. And we'll pause while this is downloading. Okay, a few moments later, we're just about done with the download process. Go ahead and close this and close our web browser, and we'll double click the Atlas Setup.msi and select Run. And we'll go through the usual steps of installation. We will install the Atlas Visual Studio project template. We'll take a look at where that is, where it winds up in just a moment. Now, I don't have Internet Information Services installed on Windows XP, so I'm going to unselect this option. This is a special file extension that will be used for the bridging functionality that we talked about in the previous video. When we get to the video topic on using the bridging functionality, we'll show how to do it both on a Windows XP system that does not have IIS installed, as well as a Windows 2003 computer that does have Internet Information Services installed, so we can use this ASBX extension. But let's go ahead and continue on for now. It only takes a moment to install. We do want it to install the templates for both Visual Basic and C# to create Atlas applications. So basically what this will do is create a reference to the Atlas assembly and give us some instructions and even a default page with the script manager installed on it by default. So we'll go ahead and use that and then select Next. It just saves us a step or two in the whole process. We'll click Finish and we're done. And we're done. Okay. Great. So now, before we do anything else, let's take a look at what was actually installed on our system. First of all, I'm going to go to my hard drive and look at the program files. We're going to go to the Microsoft ASP.NET folder, the Atlas subfolder, the specific version of Atlas that we've installed. There are various scripts and assemblies and an EULA. What I wanted to take a look at in particular is the location of the Microsoft.web.atlas.dll assembly, and this is what gives Atlas the design time server-side control capability. And also we have a script library, both a release version and a debug version. And just like I promised you from the previous video when we talked about what Atlas really is, at its core it's a series of JavaScript files. And there are a number of them. There's files for the gadgets. There's files for compatibility between Firefox and Opera and Internet Explorer. There's the Atlas, the main Atlas file itself, as well as the runtime. There's the UI glitz. And JavaScript file for using Atlas within web parts. Here's a drag and drop JavaScript file. So there's quite a bit of code actually in each of these. As you can see, one of the largest ones is 98K, so that's quite a bit to download to the client. That's why these are all split up. You can see the Atlas.js itself, which has to be downloaded to the client in order to be used, is 242K. So that's a fairly large file size, and you have to take that into account whenever you're developing your applications using Atlas. We can simply open these up in any program we choose. I'll just open it up in Notepad, and you can see They try to make it as small as possible by compressing all the code and trying to get rid of all the white space. However, it's still a pretty lengthy file. That also, I guess, works to obfuscate the code so you can't go in and monkey around with it. Okay, so at any rate, we've taken a look at the JavaScript code. We've taken a look at the actual assembly that will give us our controls. We also have some other installation procedures before we get too far. Let's go ahead and pop open Visual Studio 2005, and we'll create a new project. Whoops, a new website. We'll select the template Atlas website. There's several versions we can use. We'll just go ahead and use Visual Basic for now. It'll automatically create a new site called Atlas Website 1. And you can see by default that it gives us a README file that we can take a look at. It puts the Microsoft.web.atlas assembly into our bin directory, and it also gives us a default .aspx page that has a script manager already on it. If we look in the design view, we can see the script manager here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our toolbox so that we can find the other Atlas controls that are available to us, and you can see by default they're not installed. So here's what we'll do. We'll add a tab and we'll call it Atlas Controls. Then we'll right click in this area and select Choose Items. This will bring up the Choose Toolbox Items dialog, and what we'll want to do is use the Browse button and go to my computer and find that location on our hard drive where the DLL is stored. So just to kind of give you a recap here, Program Files, Microsoft ASP.NET, Atlas, and then under the version number, the Atlas subfolder, you should be able to find the Microsoft.web.atlas DLL, select it, and you'll note that there will be several controls within that assembly name that are highlighted. If you want to kind of see them all together, just click the assembly name, which will sort by assembly name, and you can see all of these will be then placed within our toolbox. So let's go ahead and click OK. And now we have them here within our toolbox that we can easily drag and drop over into our designer surface. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Just wanted to show you how to download, install it, and then we also took a look at what's essentially under the hood of Atlas with its assemblies and with its JavaScript files, and then also how to install the Atlas controls within the Visual Studio IDE. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how to install a tool called Fiddler, which will help us debug our Atlas-based web applications, allowing us to peek behind the scenes at the information that's being transferred between the client web browser and the server. Thank you.